sorry, do you ask me the question or just start talking?
I can ask you.
Okay.
Oh God,
You're good. No. You're good, man. Don't worry.
I feel like I'm an effective.
We might have to retake it a few times.
That's fine.
Hi guys, Master Medic here and welcome back to my YouTube channel. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Miriam and I'm a foundation year medic at Plymouth University. So today's video, my friends and I are going to help you answer that very important, scary and a question that you're sure to get in every single interview you're going to have. Why medicine? And my friends have been so kind and so generous enough to share their personal answer with you guys to help you get you prepared for that interview. So please be kind, because some of these answers are very personal, they're all very real, jeez, English. So please be kind and yeah, let's just help each other. So now you're going to hear from my friend Murat, who's going to give you an example of a very bad answer, like something that you shouldn't do, and he's going to tell you why this is a bad answer and why you shouldn't do this in your interview.
So why medicine?
One of the reasons I chose medicine is because I was really good at science, so technically I thought I would be really good at medicine because it's all about science, there's lots of biology, chemistry involved. And whenever I went to the hospital, the doctors were really friendly, really happy, and I want to work in a place where everyone is happy and it's a really friendly environment. And when I think about medicine, it's all about science, all about happiness, to work in a team. So yeah, that was my main choice of why I chose to do medicine. Yeah.
So why is this a bad answer?
Okay, so the first thing, the way I was sitting, it was like I was laying, I was in an interview, I should sit properly like how I'm sitting now. And the reason it's a bad answer is because everyone is good at science. That's not the reason, do you know what I mean? Everyone's going to be good at science. That's not the reason that you do medicine. Pick specific, when in your life you thought about medicine, did something happen? For me, in mine, something happened, that's why I picked medicine, or I went to the hospital. And especially for you guys, it's COVID. And the COVID period, you couldn't, maybe you helped in COVID, maybe your family was struggling, maybe you saw they didn't get enough care they should have in the hospital, and the doctors were so sure. So just make something personal. Mine was really broad, that anyone could give that answer. Somebody who's doing design could give that answer. They were really good at science, but yeah, so it's really broad answer. Just make it specific to why you chose it and why do you think it would be good for you.
So now you're going to hear from my friend Priscilla give you her personal answer that she used in her interview as to why she wants to study medicine.
So I chose to do medicine because in my community there is a stigma around doctors and healthcare. But growing up, I personally didn't experience that. I was blessed enough to experience good healthcare. So I am aware of how good healthcare looks like and how I can give it to future patients. So another reason why I wanted to get into medicine is because I was attracted by obstetrics and gynecology, and that is because the community that I'm from, so black women are more likely to die due to childbirth, but I don't think that is normal. So since I am part of this community, I can have a more personal link to it, and I can do more in-depth research because it's so close to my heart. So yeah. And another reason why I think I would be good for medicine is because I know that I am able to work in a team, and I know that in medicine you have to work with other healthcare professionals and also with your patients. So overall teamwork is very important.
So the reason why Priscilla's answer is a good one is because, first of all, this answer is quite unique to her. She used her personal experience as to what she's experienced in her daily life, what she's experienced in her community. And one thing you need to know is medicine, they're really big on community, and being able to bring your personal experience, what you've experienced, the healthcare you've experienced in your community, bringing that, using that as a reason is really good, because it shows your personality, it shows you as an individual, not just as a medical student, but you as what actually drives you personally. Also, Priscilla went beyond just wanting to study medicine. She talked about the area of medicine that she's actually interested in and why, which made her reason so powerful. This is a very hot topic in medicine at the moment. The rate of the mortality rate of during childbirth for Black women and white women. This is something that is being researched upon right now. Her using that in the answer just made it like very unique, very interesting, very personal, and a strong answer to give. Okay, now you're gonna hear from my friend Hannah. She's gonna tell you our answer and our reason for wanting to study medicine.
In terms of medicine itself, like I just love how broad it is. There's so many different specialties you can specialize in, and I also think that my experience definitely led me to choosing medicine. So at the start I was like every other student, thinking I love science, like I really want to do it. But then when I did my experience, like I shadowed a neurosurgeon, and I learned so much from him. I saw like qualities in him that I saw in myself. Like I liked the sense of responsibility he had, even when he was doing his morning wards, like how like assertive he was with his patients. He had a very good patient relationship, and he also like something I saw was his emotional resilience. Like he was very empathetic, but he knew when to detract, because it's a very like, you see no day is the same, if you know what I mean. So you see loads of different things, and it can kind of like, it can affect your mental health, but you have to like persevere and be very emotionally resilient. So I think that's why I picked medicine. So a quality I see in myself which will be helpful for being a doctor will be communication skills. I think I can effectively communicate. I feel like I have like something that's very important with communication is eye contact. And I feel like when you are actually actively listening to someone and you're looking at them, it helps it to come across better. And I feel like when I looked at the doctor, when I shadowed him, he was like very, very good at that. So I also think that I like the sense of responsibility. So I like making decisions, and that's a very, very big part of being a doctor.
So why Anna's answer is a good one is because this is a great example of using your work experience to answer the why medicine question. Anna talks about all the things that she saw during her work experience. She doesn't just talk about it, she reflects on it. She said, okay, why did the doctor actually do this? How did it make the patient feel? And why does this make me want to study medicine even more? She answered those questions in her answer, which is a great use of reflection and experience. And as I've said numerous times, they love when you reflect in yourself, in your experience. They just love reflection in general. So if you can show that you can reflect from early on, you're sure to be impressive in your interview. She also talked about how realistic being a doctor is. So it's not just, oh, you're just saving lives, but there's also emotional pressure to deal with that, to go with it. So being able to spot that really early on and still wanting to study medicine is a great way to show that you actually are serious about this, and it's not just something that you just thought you'd be good at. Yeah, so now you're going to hear from my friend Abby give you her very, very personal reason as to why she wants to study medicine.
So to answer that question, I first started like when my mum was really young. So my mum was a mental health nurse, and she worked a lot growing up, and it was really nice seeing how hard she worked for her patients, and she'd come and tell me stories from being at the hospital and stuff, and it was really nice. And that like first started my interest because I'd play with a stethoscope and things. But then when I was about 12, my mum like had a really bad heart attack, and she was rushed into a major trauma centre, and I was only in year 7. I saw her on the bed just completely blue, and I just had to stand there as like a 12-year-old girl, just like stood in the hospital. She has a lot of health issues, and I've had to pick up a lot of the slack growing up since, all the way through secondary school, because she's not been able to do as much. Little things like she can't even really hold an iron up, so she can't really iron properly because like she just doesn't have the strength anymore. And I started like asking myself questions like why does this happen? How can it be treated? Why can't it be fixed? Why can't she be fully better and cured? And so I started getting really involved and interested in it, and started like researching. And that's what sparked my proper interest in it. And then I started looking at other stories and other people's illnesses, and I started getting more and more involved. Also, there's a lot of mental health issues in my family, and like specifically my sister. So I wanted to know, you know, why are they like this? What's happening in the brain? You know, how can this be fixed? I was fixated on why do people struggle this much, and how can I help these people? Because, you know, my sister was going through loads of different medications, trying to see what worked, and, you know, it just having the struggle in their family really just made me want to fix everything. So I got into medicine, googled it, and then that was it. And I started doing work experience. And after my work experience, I decided I loved it. I absolutely loved it. You know, coming in contact with patients, I just instantly know. You know, I was only 15 and I came out of a 10-hour day in NA&E department and didn't want to go home, and that's how I sort of knew it was for me, really.
So with Abby's answer was a bit more relaxed. It wasn't very structured as an interview answer, but I'm really glad she did it that way, because you could see from my story our initial interest, where it started from her mom, and then it actually gradually grew into like a deep fascination and a deep interest, and you can see how she explored that. So because of all these things that was surrounding her in her family and all the issues that were going on, this increased our curiosity, and you can see that she explored that curiosity further. That's what you want to show. You want to show that you've actually explored this interest further, which is what she did. And also she talked about her work experience. That's also a way of showing that you've explored this career further. You've explored this passion further. It's not just something that you just thought about and just thought, okay, I'll just go ahead with it. That makes sense. Now you're gonna hear from my friend Murat give you his personal reason as to why he wants to study medicine. I think this one is definitely one of my we all agree that it's one of our favorite, because it's something we can all relate to, especially being someone coming from a different country, or just being someone that is from an underprivileged background. This is something that you can all relate to, and yeah, I just think that it just makes his answer a lot more stronger, and is going to make him a great doctor of medicine.
So one of the reasons I chose medicine is when I moved to UK in 2014, I never received healthcare in Albania. So when I moved to here, I was a shock when going to the dentist, going to the hospital, seeing the settings. I thought that didn't exist, and there's so many people back home where I'm from that don't have that access to the hospital, or don't have it. Like, for example, my grandparents were ill, they didn't go and see the healthcare because it wasn't really a thing. Like, people don't look after themselves as much, but at the same time it's not available. Some people, it's kind of expensive. So seeing me going to the hospital, getting treated, like doing checkups, it really interested me, and then since then I want to make a change to people that don't have that opportunity to be like to have free healthcare, or to be able to see a doctor or a GP. So I wanted to work on a healthcare system where I could like help in any way or form a person. So that's why I picked 3 weeks of work experience. In 1 week I spent in a GP, 1 week in lab, and 1 week in with a nurse in the A&E part. So throughout those weeks I didn't know what I wanted to do. I didn't know if I wanted to be a doctor, a nurse, a biomedical science. I just had an open mind. And then when I did the lab, I saw that I don't interact with patients. You just checking the results, you're just looking at labs. But my biggest quality is sociable and communication skills. And I said, why would I not use that to my advantage? To spend that communication with the patients, to speak to them, to spend like time to get to know them. And it was between nursing and doctor. So the main difference that I chose to be a doctor rather than nursing was that as a nurse, you do a lot. You prescribe, you can do anything, like you can help, you can give advice and everything, but the doctor makes that ultimate decision. And me as a person, when I'm in charge of that, when I'm in that situation, that's where I'm best at. Like, I put myself on somebody else's shoes before I do something or say something. And so as a doctor, you make the ultimate decision. So that's why I chose to do the medicine.
So as you can see with Murat's answer, he tells us why it was interest, what actually sparked that interest, seeing the difference in healthcare from where he comes from and here. That showed this interest. Now he actually explored this further by not just going to shadow a doctor, but he picked 3 different work experience. He knew he wanted to work in healthcare, and then he decided to explore healthcare as a whole, not just focus on one thing. And through a process of elimination, he was able to decide that being a doctor or studying medicine was what he wanted to do. You can see that, and you can see the structure in his answer, which makes it such a good answer. And he personalizes, like, this is me, this is what I wanted, and that just makes it so unique. And it's clear from him just saying it that this is something that he's thought about, this is a passion that he's thought through, he's researched on, and he came to an educated decision about why he wants to study medicine. Now, another thing I need to point out is, you see the way he did not talk down to any other profession. He didn't say being working in a lab was bad. He didn't say being a nurse wasn't good enough. He just said that personally, looking at his personality and what he wants, being a doctor just fit that. And that's what you need to say. Don't say that doctors are better than nurses or doctors are better than pharmacists or any of that, because they are not. We all have a part to play in giving good healthcare. What you need to show is that personally, what personality wise, and what you see for yourself. Not in the kind of like, oh yeah, I see myself in this high position, no, but just saying that personality wise, I love to take on more tasks, I love to have the final say, I love just being more in charge and whatnot. Just show that in terms of personality, being a doctor just suits you more than the other career option. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that this has helped you get ready for your interviews. I really hope that you are able to take a few points from this, and I want to thank my friends for helping me shoot this video. As you can see, this was very personal, and yet we want to be real here. You know, medicine is not all, oh yeah, I got 10 A stars, blah blah. We are real people that are actually going to become real doctors and are actually going to treat real people. So I think like our stories and our background is what is going to make us better doctors in the future. And if you have any questions, please leave it down in the comment section below. I'll try to answer as quickly as I can. Also, please do not forget that I am still crowdfunding my GoFundMe page. The link is in the description. Please share, donate, like, whatever you can do. No amount is too small. Let's keep Miriam in medical school. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video. Thank you so much.